start this off with, which is very popular down here, is the Matrix Shad. I wanted to hit that out the gate because it's something that a lot of people use on the Gulf Coast, especially Louisiana, Mississippi, even into Florida. So let's start with the good old Matrix Shad. And when I say let's start with them, if you're gonna go on a fishing trip and you're just looking to fish artificials, I wouldn't leave home without some Matrix Shad. So I grabbed the top 3 colors that I like to use this time of year in the hotter months. So let's take a visual here. I'm gonna hold these up to the camera so you guys can see. So the first color I like using is the Limbo Slice. It's a greenish blue paddle tail that's extremely popular in the state of Louisiana for speckled trout and redfish. I've actually had considerable success using the Limbo Slice on redfish. So it's definitely a color that you do not want to leave home without if you're looking to just throw artificials this time of year. The other 2 colors I want to bring up to you guys is the Lemonhead. This is a go-to for a lot of people. And a lot of people that is watching this video is probably nodding their head like, yep, this is a color that is extremely popular down here. And it almost works year round, be honest with you, but it's in the warmer months, June, July, August time frame, it seems to even ramp itself up a little bit, and it works even better that time of year. You know, a lot of that has to do with what's in the water, the bait that's swimming around, like they say, match the hatch. So yeah, excuse me, the Lemonhead. Definitely a color you don't want to leave home without. And the last one, there was a couple I could have did, but I didn't want to go crazy with it. I wanted to keep it pretty simple. And the last one I grabbed was the Holy Jolly. I know some people like to fish with the Shrimp Creole this time of year. It's got more of a shrimp color, but me personally, I'll toss this on a lot of times before I toss on the Shrimp Creole. It's that Holy Jolly. I like this clear look to it. There's a lot of bait in the water that's swimming around that's got this clear look to it. You got glass minnows, even some smaller mullet. And I just like the way this looks in the water. To me, it's got more of a glass minnow look that these fish are feeding on. And I've had, you know, pretty good success on tossing a Holy Jolly on and catching some fish with it. So that's my 3 colors there that if I was locked and loaded on fishing Matrix for the day, these are the 3 colors I would start with. That's the 3 colors I would go with: Limbo Slice, the Limbo Slice, the Lemonhead, and the Holy Jolly. Now, let me say this. There's a lot of other colors that Matrix Shad make. And there's been days when I'll go out and I may toss on a Shrimp Creole. I may toss on, you know, something that I didn't plan on using, but it's just what they want for the day. So, you know, don't put yourself in a situation where these are only 3. If you have the means to buy them, the only 3 that you take with you, I would start here and then branch off from there. If you don't have the success you want with those 3 colors, maybe you start looking at a different color, like I said, a violet, a Shrimp Creole. But as far as Matrix goes, that's my go-to. So yeah, let's, and that's really, I wanted to start that out the gate because it's such a popular lure down here on the Gulf Coast. We'll get that one knocked out the way. All right, let's transition to one. To be honest with you, let's have a quick chat about Gulp, right? So Gulp, I was not personally a big fan of Gulp. And I guess that has to do with a couple different things. I've never been a big fan of scented lures. It just wasn't something I grew up using that much in the environment that I fished in. Grew up fishing the, you know, Southeast Louisiana, Hopedale, Shell Beach, Delacroix, and it just was something that wasn't popular down there. It seemed like it was more for the freshwater guys. You know, granted, we're talking 80s and early 90s, but as Gulp came around and it became more and more popular, I had the opportunity to go down to Key West, do the work, and had the opportunity to fish down there. And those guys were a big proponent of using Gulp. If you don't know what Gulp is, it's a scented bait, a bird. okay? See it all over now. Walmart, Academy, Dick's, Sporting Goods, you name it. There's Gulp everywhere. Good job on that marketing, folks, because you can't go anywhere without seeing Gulp. Grocery stores, local gas stations, there's gonna be Gulp. So kudos to Berkeley marketing. Whoever's in charge of that department should get a raise. Okay? Now, with that being said, you ain't gonna get into all these stores and you ain't gonna get in and sell all this product unless it works, right? Because people are wanting it. It's successful. So people, you know, there's the willingness of people that want to spend their hard-earned money on a product that brings them fish. And that's what we got here in Gulp. So when I seen it work like that in the Keys down in Florida, I took that back and you said, hey, let me take a second look at this. This might be something that I can use down here. As I took a couple vacations over the last 7, 8 years down to Destin, Florida, Gulf Shore, I noticed that more and more people in that area were using Gulp. You start to see it pop up more. So I said, there's got to be something to this. So, I guess about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I started to give it a shot and started to use it. And I've had some good success off Gulp. Like I said, I just was not a big proponent of it, and I think it's some of the old school hard-headedness that this is how you can catch speckled trout. South Louisiana folks tend to be put in their ways. That's kind of a Cajun culture, and we don't like to get out of it. Well, I always try to be open to new ideas, new fishing techniques, and Gulp has really done that for me, in the sense that it shows you that there's a lot of other options out there that you may not have tried. And and let's talk a little more about exactly what Gulp I like to use this time of year. So there's a lot of different Gulp out there, from the mullet version to the grub version to the paddle tail version. I mean, there's I don't know exactly how many there is, but there's a lot. What I like to use this time of year, what I've had success on, is we'll start here with the 3-inch shrimp, white shrimp with the chartreuse tail. Let's take a look at this. White shrimp, chartreuse tail. They come in a six pack here. It does have a specific smelly scent to it, so the wife or husband, the other significant other, may not be a big fan of how this smells. And I did do a little quick video on what I like to store my Gulp in. I did find a nifty little bag that I do store my Gulp in that has Ziploc bags built in it. These Ziploc bags that are built into them. And you can see here where I like to put my Gulp, and you can kind of seal them off there, and it kind of keeps a scent on a limited basis. It ain't gonna be perfect, but it's better than just your Gulp being out and about and smelling and leaking, because it can be a problem, especially after you get a few colors and different styles you like. I got the crab version, I got the paddle tail. Yeah, so this little handy dandy pouch here has done wonders for me, keeping my Gulp organized. They make these in bigger versions if you want a large one to store more. These are really geared more toward freshwater guys that like to store their worms, but I've found it's come in tremendous handy for keeping my Gulp fresh. And really, you can use it for any soft plastic, honestly. And I've thought about doing that. You know what I mean? It's pretty nice, handy. Take it with you if you're wade fishing. So pretty cool. I wanted to bring that to your attention. But back to what I use. So the 3-inch shrimp, I use this both ways, right? I use this on the bottom, as far as jigging it off the bottom, split shotting it off the bottom. So under a popping cork, I've used this in quite a few ways to catch fish, and it's been successful. The other one I have is, and let me be clear on this. This is the grub, the 4-inch grub, and this is called the Pink Shine. Okay, it's like a whitish pink grub. Now I want to be transparent with you. I prefer the white grub. I didn't have any white grub because I was using it, and I will post some, I think some short clips in this video of me actually catching fish on the white grub. Now, this hooked up, guys. Let's see what I'm not sure what I got here. It feels good though. It feels good, whatever it is. I went with the Gulp. Sorry for the bad camera work here. I'm not sure what we got on. Oh, wow. Okay, okay. My goodness, it's bad camera work. But we are hooked up. I haven't got a visual on it yet. I think we are on a drum. I think this is a drum. A nice puppy drum on the Gulp. Puppy drum on the white Gulp. Nice, nice. Puppy drum on the white Gulp, folks. Take a look at that. Grub white Gulp. Puppy gum on the Gulp. I like it, I like it. Delicious right here. And probably my favorite fish to eat. Love it, guys. Puppy drum on the white grub Gulp. Awesome, awesome stuff. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love it, love it, love it. It's kind of the alternate I wanted to grab for you. This same style as the pink shine, and it's got a white to it, but the pure pearl white grub would be my #1 choice. I have used this as well, and it does good, but just I'm just a big proponent of the pearl white grub, especially for flounder. I've had tremendous success fishing Gulp for flounder. If you're a flounder person and you're looking for something new or something different, or something, give it a try and not have to use live bait, I'd say give Gulp a try, specifically the grub style. I have caught flounder on the paddle tail and the shrimp, but man, for some reason those flounder really like Gulp grub. So that's my two I would go with in August, would be these styles, and they have a lot of different options. You may have something that works really good for you in your area. By all means, comment below, tell me a little bit more about what you like to use, what Gulps you like to use. I'm still kind of new to the Gulp game, so I'll be more than happy to hear people what they got to say and opinions out there of what they like to use. So yeah, definitely drop some comments below. We can get a conversation started on whatever you guys want to chat about on Gulp. Things when it comes to hard baits. Let's start with Paul Brown Softine XL. I got this, oh man, 6, 7, 8 months ago, and really started using this this summer. This purple with the flashy belly, but the Paul Brown Softine in general, the XL, I like throwing the Softine XL. So if I would not leave home without this, either in my box or rigged up on one of my rods. I like throwing it. But Paul Brown makes a variety of stuff, and if you know anything about Paul Brown, they have the original, they have the Fat Boy, they have the regular size Softine, the Devil Tail, and there's a lot of different options. But for me personally, I like throwing the Softine XL, the purple with like that flashy belly, and this one's actually got a rattle in it. So this is something, if you haven't had an opportunity to throw Paul Browns yet, that might be something to look into. Great lure. Double D. This is a twitch bait that floats. That's what's so unique about it. A lot of the Paul Browns, and these are suspending baits, but they're eventually going to sink, right? This floats back after you work it and twitch it. This will float back up to the surface, which is extremely cool, because there's a lot of times that I want to work hard baits through grass beds. A lot of times I want to work hard baits through structures, and sometimes it's hard because they get caught up on the structure, the grass, because they're gradually kind of sinking their way down. But with the Double D here, this will actually float back up and kind of keep itself suspended above the grass or whatever structure you had. So this gives you some more options. They make this as well. This is out of Texas. They make this well. in different varieties of colors. I liked this color when I bought it because it's got like a gold flash look, kind of use it for redfish. I did have some success on speckled trout with this exact lure a few weeks ago here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and I think I did post some pictures of that maybe on my Facebook, so you can see where this was successful recently on the Gulf Coast, fishing here local on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. A lot of people have their renditions of topwaters they love. I actually have one sitting here, more of the traditional mirror lure. I got this in a box, this pink. I haven't used this yet, but this is a good looking lure. I just have it lying around here for a little while. But y'all have heard me, I think, talk this before on a separate video. I'm a big fan of the KVD, Kevin Van Dam Strike King topwater lures. Once I got introduced to these a couple years ago, I like the way they act. I like how easy they are to work with the walking the dog style of working these topwaters. And I always come back to this bone color, and I may have to do with the white belly, because there's a lot of mullet around where I fish. There's a lot of bait fish that have that white looking belly to it, and it seems like I'm always drawn back to this bone color in my area. But there's so many different topwaters out there, right? By Mirror Lure, you got the She-Dog Junior. There is a tremendous amount of topwaters that if you haven't really looked into it yet, that when you get into it, it can be overwhelming. But just to keep it simple, for me in the month of August, I'm not gonna leave home without my KVD, Kevin Van Dam Strike King bone color topwater. It's pretty light, it casts extremely well. I'll throw it on a Shimano SLX DC bait casting reel, and it casts like a dream. I can throw it a mile. So if you're looking for something maybe new to try or just a different topwater to try, I know a lot of guys down here stick with kind of the same things. The She-Dog Junior, nothing wrong with that. I've caught fish on those too. Start to use these Kevin Van Dams, give it a new look. They make the sexy Shad by Strike King. I've had success on that as well. So yeah, that's one I wouldn't leave home without, especially if you're looking to throw topwater. Give it a try. It's this bone color by Strike King. All right, that's most of the lures I wanted to cover. Like I said, I didn't want to get too deep into it. A couple other things I want to cover before we get out of here is I get asked different questions, which jig heads, with leaders, stuff like that. Right now, for leader line in the hotter months out the year, I like to use 20-pound leader when I'm inshore fishing, because there's so many toothy critters and fish around here. You got ladyfish, you got Spanish mackerel, you got a lot of fish in the area right now that can cut your line, right? Depending on if you're at the islands fishing, you can get kings, you got bluefish, you got a lot of different fish out there that can cut your line. So I'll go with a 20-pound leader. I like fluorocarbon leaders. Recently I've been using this fluorocarbon coated line. This is something pretty cool. You might want to give it a try. This is made by P-Line. This is fluorocarbon 20-pound P-Line, fluoro coated, okay? Let me make that clear, it's fluoro coated. So it's a little bit softer than regular fluorocarbon. I like fluorocarbon. The only problem, what I don't like about fluorocarbon is the fact that it can get stiff sometimes when you get up in that 20-pound range. It can almost feel like wire, and I don't like the way it acts under a popping cork sometimes, or even as a leader line working, jigging, or working my lures off the bottom. So I came across this fluorocarbon P-Line coated line. It's softer, it's got a softer feel for it. It's got more a monofilament feel to it, and I really like it, and it's still almost invisible in the water. So if you're looking for a new leader line option, give it a try. It's made by P-Line, fluorocarbon coated, 20-pound test, and they make different pound lines you can try, but I like to stick with 20-pound leader line this time of year. I will transition back to more of a 15-pound leader line once it starts to get colder and some of these toothy critters start pushing out and pushing back down to Florida. And that usually happens October time frames around here. Late September, October, November, I'll transition back to 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. Don't get as many break-offs. The fish that are sticking around are going to be more your speckled trout, redfish, and flounder, more the traditional fish that you know, that don't have them sharp teeth. All right, so we covered some leader line, right, guys? Okay, let's chat real quick. Jig heads. I just grabbed I grabbed some GoldenEye jig heads made by Matrix. We go back to Matrix. There's a lot of guys that have different opinions about jig heads, and I get it. There's a lot of different options out there for jig heads. I've kind of leaned toward the GoldenEye jig head. They're at a good price point. They work well. They're pretty sharp, but I do use a different variety of jig heads. I use H2O Express jig head and Death Grip jig heads. I've used them on occasion. They work really well. They do hold the bait, I say bait, the lure on extremely well, especially if you get into a big school of speckled trout where it's consistently getting bit, consistently getting hit, and you know you're trying to catch as many fish in an expedited manner. Death Grip jig heads are really good option, and I know that's extremely popular in Louisiana and even here on the Mississippi coast. I've transitioned to braid about a year and a half ago or so. I transitioned to braid. So far I've liked it. I used to be a monofilament guy or die, but I made the swap, and I tried different braids out, and I heard people say, you know, if you want to spend the money, the best braid out there is the Suffix 832. I got this in the blue. I also got it in like the neon green, but it's hard to beat it, man. I tried spider wire. I tried different braids, you name it out there, man. And when I put on the Suffix 832 for the first time, there's nothing else out there like it that I've come across. Okay, and that, I mean, some people have their preferences, and I get that. Not that the other lines were bad, but when I put this on, it was like first time I fished with a St. Croix rod. It was just different. So it is pricey though. That's the thing. It can break your heart sometimes if you get snagged up, if you gotta cut it, if you gotta lose it. It can it hurts. It can hurt. Okay, but it's a really good line, and it holds up. I haven't had any abrasion issues with it. I haven't had any problems with it breaking for some reason. You know, I've caught a lot of fish using this braid. So if you're looking, possibly thinking about swapping over from monofilament to braid, and you know you're not worried about the price point too much, take a look at the Suffix 832. They got different. I like using the 30 pound, and it's 8 pound mono equivalent, but they make all the different sizes and what you may want. This is what I like. Feels good on my rods. I use them on my spinning rods and my bait casters. Both cast extremely well. My nephew would tell you I can cast a mile with these with this line. So great line. Give it a look, give it a try. Let me know what you think about it if you do try it. And if you have another braid out there that I'm not aware of, that you say, hey, I like it better than Suffix 832, by all means tell me, because this stuff is not cheap. So if you have something that's comparable, that's even better, that you think works well, shoot it over to me, because believe me, I'm not against saving money. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So if you can save me some money, and there's a better braid out there, shoot it my way. Drop it in the comments, shoot me a DM on Facebook. I'm here to chat about it. And my wife would be happy if you save us some money, I can tell you that. Because you know we spend way too much money on fishing gear. All right, I think that covers most of what I wanted to hit for the August Artificials series that I wanted to chat and start. Let's see. I've had a couple questions. I do like fishing with double rigs. Here's some double rigs. Depending if I'm trout fishing, if I'm jigging off the bottom, it may just been an old school Louisiana thing, but we used to use double rigs often back in the day in the 80s and stuff when we were fishing Oak River. twin pipeline back in Louisiana. Now I'm tossing out some specifics that you may not know. You can see with my new, there it is, my new my maps I hung up Louisiana shoreline. That's the Ollie area that I grew up fishing. Bayonne, Black Bay, Lake of Two Trees, all that is what I grew up fishing. So I was able to add a subscription button down in the bottom left. So if you click on that subscription box, it'll give you the opportunity to subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it if you subscribe. You know, that would help. But like I said, I'm not gonna, we're not here to ask for somebody to do that they don't want to do. If it's, the content will take care of itself. We're here to talk fishing. We're here to talk getting out there and enjoying the outdoors with the family, with your significant others. And maybe learning a little bit about the outdoors and fishing. We're gonna head out to the Barrier Islands, Horn Island, Ship Island, and do some fishing out there, and we'll be able to catch some great footage of catching some nice fish. Hopefully, knock on wood, but that's gonna be a great opportunity. And we may even do some trolling. Who knows? There's more to come on that as well. So it's just gonna be a good time. But I think that's all I got for the August artificials. But thanks again for all the support. Like I said, if you like the content, please subscribe. And I think that's about it, guys. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and well, we'll look forward to next month in September. We'll do this again. We'll get together and I'll kind of talk about what I'm transitioning to in September. But that's all I got. So you guys take it easy, and we will talk soon.